Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your buddy Adrian here today with Frag Hits, and today I'm going to be talking to you about those Christmas safe buys. Yes, we are going into that Christmas season, and if you can't tell, I'm holding a whole bunch of fragrances. And I'm not going to talk to you about just one or two or three or five. No, I'm going to try to give you like 15 to 20 safe fragrances in different price categories, from super cheap, budget friendly, mid-ground, to super expensive. And I'm only gonna be talking about designer stuff. I'm not going into niche. I'm not gonna go into indie. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So let's go ahead and put that intro roll in and let's get this started. All right, so now that I got my hands free again, you know, I got to talk with my hands and everything like that. So I got to be doing one of these. I'm gonna tell you today, the reason why I'm doing this is because we're rolling into the Christmas season and we're all kind of curious of like, hey, I'm thinking about buying this fragrance for so-and-so, but I don't know what to get. What smells good? You may not have a ton of time to go to the department stores or go to these local shops, stuff like that, and pick out a whole bunch of these. So I'm gonna be your helping hand, maybe your little helper.
Who the heck are you?
Elf on the shelf, or whatever you want to call me, and I'm gonna try to guide you through the ones that I think that you could safely buy for just about anybody. And I'm gonna give you age ranges, so that way you say, hey, this is younger person, middle person, older person. I'm gonna give you that breakdown and synopsis. I'm gonna keep it quick and concise and just give you a whole bunch of options, and then you decide what fits your budget and everything like that. What I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna keep it over on this side. I'm gonna keep a category tag to say, hey, I'm in the low price category, I'm in the mid price category, and I'm at the high price category. So if you don't wanna look at high price category or mid price, you just push through the video to the spot where you see it pop up to where you want it to be, and then you will look at that section only, and we'll keep it pushing. You keep it as short or as concise as you want, or if you wanna stick with us and watch this entire thing, cool. I appreciate you, because it's gonna take me a lot of time to do this video. And if you wanna watch the entire thing and see everything that I'm gonna talk about, that's awesome. Now, let's go ahead and get this video started.
It's about to go down.
All right, so the first one I'm gonna talk to you about today is Nautica Voyage. This thing is youthful, playful, tropical, inexpensive. It's only gonna set you back about 20 bucks. The notes you're gonna get off of this one are green leaves, apple, lotus, mimosa, musk, cedar, oak moss, and a little bit of amber. Just reminds you of the tropics. Let's move on. All right, now the next one we're talking about is Mont Blanc Legends Spirit. This one often gets compared to Invictus Aqua 2016, which is becoming increasingly more difficult to kind of find because it's essentially been discontinued. Went through reformulation and stuff like that, but this is about as close as you're gonna get to it. This one is amazing. It comes off very aquatic, very playful. It also gives you this invigorating rush of energy. When I put this on, it just changes my entire mindset, puts me in a different mood, energizes me, motivates me, puts me into that, hey, I gotta get things done today type of, vibe. The things that you wanna get done. Now, what you're gonna get with this one is grapefruit, bergamot, a little bit of pink pepper. You're gonna smell those watery notes, and then the cardamom, which is very smooth and refined. It's gonna give you that sweetness in the base, and you're getting a little bit of musk and oak moss. Absolutely love this fragrance. It's energetic. When I wear it, like I said, I feel like I'm surrounded in an aura of energy. All right, now the next one we're gonna be talking about is our Mauve Trace Nuit. This one, oh God, I love this thing so much. This is a super cheapie for sure. It is a clone of Green Irish Tweed. It is not a one-to-one. If you want to be in that genre, that niche, that type of feeling that you get from that luxury fragrance, this is a really good one. It is not, again, a one-to-one. This one comes off a little bit more citrusy, a little bit more fruit forward in there. You're gonna get a little bit of spicy notes, the creamy and smooth amber base, and the sandalwood as it finishes off. This is a dupe, a clone, an inspiration, and inspired by whatever you want to call it, of Green Irish Tweed, which is significantly more expensive. The price is massively different for Green Irish Tweed, which is a house in Creed that may or may not come up a little bit later, but you have to watch for that one. The price on this one, you're gonna pick this up right around under the $30 mark. If you're looking for something in that genre, this is the one that I would definitely recommend. Captivating. That's all I'm gonna say. Captivating. Moving on. Now this next one is Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo. Now I have a small bottle of this one because I have a ton of different types. This one is a little bit different. You see the atomizer, it comes off like this. In the bigger bottle, the atomizer is integrated into the top of the cap where you can spray it just like this, but in this one you have to pop it because this is only a 1 ounce. But I absolutely love this one for the price point. It's absolutely phenomenal. It just hits everything. It's warm, it's spicy, it's a little bit of coffee nuances in it. It has that vanilla accord that everybody seems to like. It's cinnamon, a little creamy, and very, very, very inviting. It has mandarin orange, grapefruit, has cardamom in it, has cypress, tonka bean, coffee, and patchouli. It basically has all the ingredients of all these powerhouse fragrances that are on the market. It has the DNA basically sampled from all the bits of the good one and integrated into one. The only thing I can say about this one is the longevity on my skin personally is not that great. Only tends to last about 6 to 7 hours. So if this is one that you're gonna pick up, just know towards the end of the day, you're gonna be simmering down. You might wanna put another spray or 2 on there and boom, you're back in business. Let's go on. All right, next up is Afnan 9 p.m. Now, what this one is a Ultra Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Cologne. Now, if you haven't heard about this one, great, I appreciate it. But if you want to know more, like you truly want to know more about this one, or that powerhouse fragrance coming out of Jean Paul Gaultier Le Ultra Male, which has been performing phenomenally, you should check out the video that I have on this one and the side-by-side comparison. About this one in quickness, it is very friendly. You could wear this out to a nightclub, a large gathering of friends, open air environments. You have it. You're going to stand out with this one. If you spray it light enough, you could probably wear this office because it's going to be that invigorating and creamy, and you're going to get those nuances that people are going to appreciate in that type of environment. It performs like a freaking monster. I'm telling you, this thing will fill rooms if you put a lot of sprays on. So if you're heavy on the trigger with this one, you might want to keep this under 5 because that's all you're going to need, and it's going to perform like crazy. What you're going to get out of this one is a lot of vanilla, a good blend of citrus accords with cinnamon mixed into some lily of the valley, tonka beans, and amber. So this one is very creamy, very sexy, very alluring, kind of like come have a conversation with me type of fragrance. So you might want to be careful giving this one to your significant other unless you really have an established relationship, because they're gonna get noticed with this one. Next one. All right, so the last one I'm gonna talk about in this category, you cannot ignore, and I know everybody that's in the fragrance community is like, is he gonna mention it? Is he not gonna mention it? Is it gonna float on the radar a little bit longer? No, everybody in Fragcom already knows about this one, and the one that I'm speaking about in specific is this one right here. It is our Mauve Club de Nuit Intense Man. Now, if you're unaware of what this is a clone of Creed Aventus. And Creed Aventus is just one of those powerhouse fragrances that just leaves wake and has won multiple awards, massively appealing, hyper beast mode, kind of status symbol type of thing. And this one is a fraction of the price. You can usually pick this one up for under about $40 at the top end. You can sometimes pick this up for right around that $25 to $30 mark. If you can pick it up for that, definitely worthwhile grab. Now what you're gonna get out of this one, primarily pineapple, bergamot, black currant. You're also going to get a little bit of jasmine, rose, the birch, and you're also going to smell a little bit of musk in this one, which gives it that masculinity that everybody's kind of looking for, and those patchouli notes with a tiny bit of vanillic blend in the base. Very soft, very masculine, powerful fragrance. I might have a video on this one later on. I do not have a solid video on this one yet, and I've been slacking on it, and I will get to it. Okay, so we're moving on to the mid-ground category. So what I'm gonna do for the front part is I'm gonna tell you a house that usually will be very safe for the vast majority of people, not too expensive, but consistently putting out really good performing fragrances. The house I'm talking about is Versace. Pretty much anything in this one It's kind of a cop-out because Versace in general just makes so many versatile, youthful, playful, different situational fragrance that I'm gonna name 3 or 4 that you could probably buy and be perfectly safe, and they're gonna have that middle ground price range. So what I would recommend is if you can find one of these Versace variety packs where they have a whole bunch of different fragrances in there, that is gonna be a phenomenal buy because it's gonna give them that diverse category set of a few different ones that they can try for themselves. And I'm gonna tell you right now, they're probably gonna enjoy about 90% of them in that box. So I had one of those variety packs and I was like, hey, I haven't used this in a while. So I pulled out these 3 right here. You got Versace Eros, is what you want I'm gonna talk about. You got Mano Fresh, and then you also have Port Homme. So these 2 right here, I'm gonna give you a little bit of category breakdown on. And the one I'm gonna start with first is gonna be this one, Versace Eros. Now, the one you're gonna wanna get is Versace Eros EDP. The reason why you wanna get the EDP instead of the EDT is the one that's mainly known, but the EDP is slightly more mature, has a little bit more versatility, and it comes off much more refined in a way. Everything that you can use the EDT for, you can definitely use the EDP for, and you will stand out ever so slightly in the comparison. So this is the one that I would recommend. So what you're gonna get with this one is candied apple and a little bit vanillic. You're also gonna get lemon. You're gonna get mandarin orange, mint, and ambroxan. Now the ambroxan, if you're not familiar with it, what ambroxan does is a chemical composition that is created by perfumers. You spray it on, and what it does is it actually causes the fragrance to perform significantly better. So if your normal fragrance is only gonna sit about 1 to 2 feet, if you put on that ambroxan, it amplifies it to a magnitude. And with this one, Versace Eros, if you're putting 3 to 5 sprays on with this one, you're gonna create a 6 to 7 foot bubble of fragrance around you. So it performs phenomenally. One I definitely recommend getting. Let's move on. The other 2 that you want to just buy one bottle is Versace Port Homme and Versace Dylan Blue. Versace Port Homme kind of reminds me of a luxurious beach resort tropical drink out on the sand. That's what it kind of gives me the remnants of. Now Dylan Blue often kind of gets prepared to another fragrance which I'm going to talk about in this list. It's very blue, it's very inviting. It's very inviting. It's a complex nuance of situational events that you can put it on your skin, and it's going to be very versatile for everything, and everybody seems to like it, so it's a very safe blind buy. Next one. Moving on to the next category, the one we're gonna be talking about is Paco Rabanne. Okay, so in the Paco Rabanne line, it's one of those houses that make crazy amounts of things you can pick up at your local department store, Macy's, JCPenney's, Ross, Marshall's, Burlington, Kohl's, Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom's, you name it, you're gonna be able to find it. So great one to pick up. The absolute thing about Paco Rabanne is the presentation is just amazing. And for case in point, boom, tiny little bottle right here, but it's still the exact thing of what the full-size bottle is. And this is the one I'm going to tell you that you should get if you want the safest, best one in the group. It is Paco Rabanne Invictus. One of the reasons why I like Paco Rabanne so much is they really put a lot of creativity in designing their bottles. They're extremely eye-catching. They just pop off. If you have them on your shelf, as soon as you walk in, it's one of the first ones you immediately recognize. And you know, it's like, it looks crazy, but it draws your attention each and every single time. And the same thing with the fragrances. When you get a whiff of it, it just invites you. You're like, oh, this is a phenomenal smelling fragrance. It hits all the things that you want. Now, if you're gonna get this one, which is the Paco Rabanne Invictus, it is very, very fresh. It's aromatic, aquatic, has oats, grapefruit, mandarin orange. In the middle, you're gonna get creamy ambergris, and you got that backed up with some oak moss that gives it some complexity. Let's move on. All right, now Jean Paul Gaultier is one of the most iconic looking bottles and figures of the man or the woman, depending on what you're buying, the fragrance and what you buy. Is the safest purchase in the entire collection would be, for me, is Le Mont Le Parfum. Now, it's a classic and iconic fragrance in the community. The bottle is creative. It just has a good presentation. The type of packaging that it comes in, you're not gonna pick it out in a gift wrap. Here's the thing, when you get Le Mont Le Parfum or any of the Jean Paul fragrances, they come in this round cylindrical can that you kind of like have to pop the top off. So if you're wrapping up your presents with it and stuff like that, there's no way somebody's gonna be able to figure out, oh, this is a bottle of cologne because it's a square box. And I can hear it in there. I can hear the water. No, you're gonna catch them completely off guard with this metal cylindrical can. So it's kind of a cool presentation type of thing in multiple ways. The reason why I like this one is because Les Mots Les Parfums is a different iteration on the one that came out a long time ago, and it brings it into a new era. It gives it some more maturity. It hits on all the notes that this generation is actually looking for. It is 20 years newer, refreshed, refined, whatever you want to have it, and it just hits everything that you want yet again. So what you're gonna get out of this one is it's vanillic. It comes across green. It has vanilla, it has cinnamon, it has cardamom, it has tonka beans in there, and cedar. It's very complex and it just works very well. So I feel like it's definitely one that you could pick up, and it's gonna be hyper massively appealing, and that's what you're looking for. You don't wanna buy them the wrong fragrance that they're not gonna like, so you're just kind of shotgun blasting. And this is one of the safest shotgun blasts you possibly get. Let's move on.
A freaking 12 gauge, what do you think?
All right, so the next one we're gonna be talking about is the Zorro, the most wanted line in particular. In the house of the Zorro, you could pretty much pick any of the most wanted line, but if you're gonna go for one, the one I would say turned out the best is Wanted by Night. It's warm, it's spicy, it has sweet accords, it has a creamy tobacco in there. It's blended phenomenally and it has some nuances. Plus it has a chemical in there that's called ISO-E Super, which is kind of like Embroxin. When you mix it into the fragrance, it makes it perform even better. And ISO-E Super and Embroxin are also pheromonal fragrances, which to some people will trigger a more powerful sexual attraction because it is more animalic. You don't know what it is, but it hits your nose and it triggers something psychologically that seems to make some people think you're more attractive. It is scientifically proven, so they've started putting it in some of these fragrances, and those ones that do have that, for a reason, they are compliment magnets. And the Zorro Most Wanted line uses this one to its fullest extent. When you put this on, put on three sprays, you're gonna get about that 5 to 6 foot bubble, and it seems to attract a lot of compliments, so that's why it's on this one. Let's move on. All right, so I'm gonna talk about Dior, Christian Dior. Dior is technically could be upper middle ground depending on your budget and your category, high ground depending on what you're looking at. They make a lot of phenomenal fragrances, but if you had to pick one and only one, it's kind of their staple. It's been an unhindered rampage for years. It's beast mode in performance. It decimates everything in the crown and leaves wake with an intoxicating, invigorating, inviting, oh my God type of smell, which you're looking for from any fragrance, and it hits on every single note, every single time. You love it, you hate it. Time! Dior Sauvage. Dior Sauvage has just continued to astonish and amaze the mass of the crowds. If you're in a more rural area, you are going to stand out leaps and bounds. You will get compliments. You will get that attention. It will bring people to you, and when that hits their noses, they will like what it is. When you go into more metropolitan areas, larger cities and stuff like that, it is a little bit more saturated. You tend to smell this a lot more in the nightclubs, in the public gatherings and stuff like that, because it is so popular. It just is. So kind of one of those things, you love it or you hate it. It works phenomenally, but everybody and their brothers kind of have it. So if they don't have it and you're like, hey, I don't know what to get them, boom, pick this one up. Next. All right, so we are gonna move on to this lovely person right here. This is Dolce & Gabbana, the one. EDP. Very near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love this fragrance. From the very first sniff, I knew that I didn't even want to mess around and I had to have the biggest bottle. And that's what I did. I just found one of the bigger bottles that I could find and just scooped it up. I have a ton of fragrances, and it's just, I wanted this one because I knew I was going to utilize it that much. And in my mind, it is the epitome of the date night fragrance, just dripping with charm and sophistication and sex appeal that you are looking for in a fragrance. This tobacco infused sensual masterpiece is a must have for anyone's collection. It's grapefruit in the opening with coriander and basil, and it settles into this intoxicating ginger and cardamom tobacco medley. And then it just hits all the things that you want from a fragrance. I can't iterate this enough. Round of applause. This is a masterpiece of the time. Next one. All right, so I'm wondering what you're wondering. Am I gonna talk about the one that you've probably been thinking about and you've probably seen around for a while? And the answer is yes, I am. Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio. This thing has just broke and shattered every single record there's ever been. The highest selling fragrance of any kind across the world. It leaves all the others in its dust. Nothing else even compares to it when it comes to sales. It is extremely complimentary for just about anybody, just about any situation. It could be your signature scent. It's very versatile. Date night, office setting, public setting. You could use it in the club, lace it up really heavily, and you're not gonna offend anybody with this one. But the problem is, it's been out for a while, and a lot of people tend to have this. If you don't have it and you just want to get somebody something good, you can definitely get them this one. Or what I would heavily recommend, I forgot I got a lot of bottles back there. What? Now what I would recommend, this one right here, Acqua di Gio Profumo. It takes the original essence of Acqua di Gio, makes it slightly more mature, elevates it into a more modern, refined standard. It mixes a little bit of incense and geranium into that original DNA that just works so well and gives it that complexity that still garners you those compliments and sets you apart ever so slightly from everybody else. So even in a room with people wearing this fragrance, you will stand out and they will still love it. Absolutely. Next one. Okay, so now we have stepped into that excess of $100 category type of fragrance. Even at discounters, you will still be very extremely hard pressed to find any of these under $100. And some of these are well in excess of $100. The first one I'm gonna talk about is an absolute must. It is Maison Margiela Replica by The Fireplace. Now, some of these I keep in the box, some of them I don't. This is one that I wanted to keep in my box because it was given to me as a gift by somebody very near and dear to my heart. So I wanted to just basically keep it sealed the way that it is. Now, what this is another date night powerhouse fragrance. Come kind of hang out with me, Netflix and chill type of vibe. The best way to describe this, it smells, if you can envision yourself out in the woods, the fire's crackling and popping, and you can hear the woods and the air around you. It's nighttime. You can feel the warmth coming off the fire, warming up your skin. Very cozy and safe. And you can smell the woods just emanating off of that fire, luxurious and rich. And you're hanging out with somebody ever so close, near dear to your heart, and you're making s'mores. That's what this is. This is a phenomenal, extremely relaxing, comforting, come hang out with me, close cuddle buddy vibes to the max. Next one. All right, so this next one, I'm just gonna point over here to the corner. This is Bleu de Chanel. I'm not even gonna go into this one. It's crazy popular, it's super versatile, fresh out of the shower, playful, crowd pleasing, tons of notes, complexity, just buy it. Don't even need to explain it. I'm that sure it's the only one on this list that I can 100% definitively say, just buy it. You're gonna like it. Everybody likes this freaking fragrance and it works in every situation. Next one. Okay, so this one is technically cheating a little bit. This is not one that you are going to find in your retailers. You're not gonna find this in your normal department store. You will have to go online for this one definitively. I've never seen this in a Neiman Marcus, a Nordstrom, a Macy's, a JCPenney, pretty much any of these places. I have never found one of these, and I could be wrong, but even all the cities that I've been to and stuff like that, I've never seen it. But The one I'm talking about, and I kind of don't want to talk about it because it's that good, and it's a little bit harder to get, but I'm gonna give it to you because I want to do this and I want to make sure that you have a great experience. If you like this content so far, do me a solid. I've given up one of my favorite fragrances right now. Just hit that thumbs up button. That's all I asked for. So one I want to talk about is Mental Intense Cafe. Mental Intense Cafe. Oh God. Yeah. So I have a whole video on this one dedicated to it versus this one, and another one that's kind of like a similar take on it that I'm not going to mention. You're going to have to figure that one out too. If you really want to know the reason why I love this one absolutely so much, you will have to watch that video. But what I will give you out of this one is you're going to get the most masculine rose that you've ever found in any fragrance out there. It is compared with and perfectly blended with an oud and coffee notes. This one, when you wear this, I can definitively say this is one of the most romantic fragrances in my entire collection. Performance-wise, just kills it. Just kills it. You can put I made the mistake, and I'm gonna give you one quick story. I made the mistake the very first time that I got this, and I put this on. I put 5 sprays on as I normally do. And oh my God, it filled just the entire room everywhere. It was emanating off my skin, pulsating. When you buy this, you only need to put on about 3 sprays and they will still smell you coming. And it is just every penny worth it. Definitely a pickup. Like I said, if you like the content so far, I'm giving up one of my absolute favorite ones. Just hit that thumbs up button. That's it. Next one. Now, I'm going to come back a little bit on this one. I talked to you about one before from the House of Dior, which was Dior Sauvage. Now, this one it's superior to me. This is Dior Sauvage Elixir. This is the more mature, sophisticated, complex Sauvage. More intriguing. It pulls on the hearts of the days of past by mixing some class and some sophistication into the air. If you like the EDT version of Dior Sauvage, you will fall in love with the Elixir version. And this stuff is beastly performance. This is straight up stalker mode. You're gonna have to scrub it off your skin. It's only 60 mils instead of the 100 mil sprays. It is the equivalent of 3 times of the EDT because the amount of oils that they put in this. 3 and done, truthfully. And you're gonna smell it the entire room. And the atomizer on this one is crazy. It's a fire hose. So keep that in mind when you're putting this one on. Even though it's only 60 mils, I would honestly say this is probably the equivalent of 200 mils easily, because just the longevity, the performance, and the astonishment that they have created with yet another masterpiece in the House of Dior. Next one. All right, the king has arrived. Trumpets playing, everything, and the most award-winning fragrance, the one that everybody seems to want. If you're a fragrance community lover, if you have a decent amount of fragrances, I know you have heard about this one. It is time to make this one an entrance into the stage. The one I am talking about, the one and only Creed Aventus. Now, the reason why I'm holding up this one instead of any of the other ones is because, yet again, if you are just getting started into this house, this is the best way to do it in my mindset, because what this does is it gives you a very elegant presentation. It gives you 3 different fragrances that are in there. You get Creed Médecine Impériale, you get Creed Aventus, which is the one that everybody wants in this house. And they fight, and I'm not even joking, they fight over which formulation and which batch is the best. There are entire chats dedicated to say, hey, this batch is better, this batch is better, this batch is better. No, this has this complex nuance. I will pay you $1,000 for this batch. There are batches of this that are out here that sell for tens of thousands of dollars for Creed Aventus for specific batches. There is an 11-ounce bottle out there that I kid you not, that I saw in excess of $25,000 for this fragrance. And then the other one that you get in there, not to be left out, is Silver Mountain water. Now, these are great. Looks phenomenal. Presentation. Clearly, I've had these for a while because I've been using them, but I have a lot of other fragrances too. But this is a great way to get somebody a phenomenal gift. This is definitely upper class, stature symbol. You got a little bit more money. You're standing out. You want to stand out from the crowd because this one is a little bit harder to attain, specifically because the price point. Nowadays, one bottle of pretty much any one of these, you're going to spend anywhere between $400 to $500 for a bottle for something like this. Now, you can pick this travel setup like this, significantly less. You're still going to be sending a very nice gift for sure. Next one. Okay, so in that niche genre, higher end category, you know, excess of $150, $250, sometimes $300 a bottle, we're going to talk about Parfums de Marly. And in that one, in that house, you're going to want to get, I didn't freeze, I was just fucking with you a little bit. You're going to want to get Layton. Now, if I were to choose personally, I would say Pegasus. Layton over here, Pegasus over here. The reason why, it sounds stupid, I like the bottle on the Pegasus a little bit better, and I have a little bit more of a gourmand taste personally. Like, it's just, I found that out, I like it, but that's just me. Now, Layton is the one that everyone longs after, everyone goes crazy after, which will make a statement when you walk in the room. You get levels of spiciness, warm and spicy, then fresh and spicy nuances. Couple that with a citrus powdery chords, it just hits all the marks for a mass appeal bomb, and it's pricey enough where not everyone is going to be able to afford it, but it is affordable enough for it still to be attainable, if you hear what I'm saying. It's up here, but it's not like breaking the bank. I gotta make some adjustments in my lifestyle if I want to pick up this stupid fragrance so I can smell different than everybody else. Like, you're gonna stand out for sure with this one. Let's move on. Okay, and another one of these that you're gonna have to pick up, that if you want to go in that upper echelon, nice category, stand out above, nicer stature, business, professional, you know, you're making excess of 6 figures a year, or maybe even 7 figures a year. You're going to pick up this one. Very powerful house. Love them to death. Homage, Reflection. Man, to me, this is a beautiful blend of Middle Eastern spices and accords that are crowd pleasers. This conveys a strong sense of masculinity, and while not being overpowering, because it has that somewhat vanillic lipstick powderiness to it that just is complimentary in nature. It has rosemary, petitgrain, and pink pepper in the opening and smooths out, and it changes ever so slightly throughout the day, but continues to captivate as it evolves. In the mid, it turns into a vanillic lipstick powderiness with orris root, neroli, jasmine, and yangling. I know I'm not pronouncing that correct, but I'm not gonna even sit here in front of the camera for like 20 seconds like yangling, whatever it is. It smells great. That's all you gotta do. In the base, sandalwood, vetiver, cedar, patchouli, and it comes off very clean, very masculine, and very inviting. Next one. Now we're getting towards the end. Only 2 left. What are they gonna be? Next one we're gonna talk about, Initio Parfums. From this one, this is not one that I would say just buy for anyone. You're gonna have to know this person. If this person is a fan of oud, or if they're incredibly masculine type of dark, sensual, sexuality just dripping off of them, this is the type of fragrance that you would want to get for them. But still, a word of caution, because this is not for everybody, but I had to throw it in there because it's just a powerful fragrance, and it is in that upper echelon category, $200, $300 plus sometimes. If you're looking for a super strong, ultra masculine powerhouse, then you have to go after this one. This dark and luxurious concoction might not be the safest blind buy. Definitely worth being on the list. I only recommend this, again, if the person is a huge fan of oud and they love being outdoors. Next one. Okay, here we go. Drum roll, please. What is the last one on the list? You know it, you love it, you've heard a lot about it. Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. This powerhouse fragrance is just one that continues to astound people that catch a whiff of it. It is simply one of those fragrances that exudes levels of opulence. It is very creamy, smooth, and intoxicating to the nose. Obviously, one of the main notes that you're gonna pick up is the tobacco. It is very creamy, inviting smell. This is gonna come from the tonka beans and cacao and the vanilla. And then you're gonna get the sweet notes from the dried fruits in the wood and an awesome mix of tobacco blossom. It has some spicy notes that give it different levels of complexity. It simply captivates a very broad audience. You can basically give this to just about anyone and it will immediately elevate them into a new game. They will stand out from the crowd. They will come off as more luxurious and well-to-do in a matter of seconds. This is one that should not by any means be overlooked for even a single second. If it is within your budget, it is definitely worth not one, not two, but 3 sniffs, just because after the first one, you're gonna wanna go back and smell it again. All right, I know this has been a long one. If you've made it through, thank you so much. If you like the content, do me a solid. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this thing out, get it out to as many people as you want. I really want to try to grow this channel. I hope this is actually doing something for you in this beautiful, amazing holiday season. I hope one of these that is on this list will have struck an accord with you in particular. And when you give it to that person, that you can see the happiness and the joy and the sparkle in their eye that you are looking for in this holiday season. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one. Also, I already know that if you enjoyed this content, you are smelling phenomenal. So you should join the Fraghead Army. I'll catch you on the next one.